Hello, I'm Sergeant Stepdad, and I'm going to be talking to you throughout my videos about things that are happening in this world that you don't see much on mainstream media. It's mainly going to be stuff like families, things dealing with depression, and stuff like that. It's not going to be much political talk because there's all enough of that going around, in my opinion. And I'm gonna have probably some of my streams are gonna be videos of video gameplay or just a picture. I may at some point in time make a goal where I end up showing my real face, but I don't know how long that'll take. But I'm gonna start off today with where my life experience begins with some of the issues I'm going to talk about. And this started when I was in fifth grade, when my mom and dad got separated because they decided it was time for a divorce. My dad had been a heavy drinker at this point in time. He would be drunk at work or stuff like that. My mom got tired of it, and one Christmas Eve, and enough was enough. We ended up leaving. Then from there, we moved into our grandma's house, so we had a place to stay because we ended up, me, my brother, and my sister ended up living with our mom. And for a while, we were living there. My mom was working her job, and we were going to school. She ended up meeting the man that she would marry and would be my stepdad about a year or so later. And we moved into an apartment complex. He had a daughter from a previous marriage, and my mom had us. We were kind of leery as children of him because we did not know him. And this was in a generation where if you don't know knew an adult, you were not going to trust them that much unless they were in uniform. Because at that point in time, there was less stolen valor or people posing as military, police, stuff like that. But we were leery of him. We lived with him. We lived there for multiple years. I mean, we made friends there. We had enemies, like all kids do. You have friends and you have your enemies. It's just part of life. Then we ended up moving to another town, which was outside, not that far away, should I say. And we kept going to the same school, which made it easier. Then, after some time of getting to know him, we spent more time doing stuff together. I actually would go out into the garage and help him work on cars. I never really called him my stepdad. I called him by his name. I wasn't showing that as a sign of disrespect. I just was respecting him as a human being. So I would always call him his name by his name. But we got along. We worked on his cars, all sorts of stuff like that. I would also help him with like working on houses and stuff like that. And everything was fine in the house. They did eventually get married closer to some of the 8th grade year, but things did not change. We were like a family. And as that continued, there became a slight issue where things got caused us kids to hate one parent or the other. Besides me, I stayed neutral because there was some things that parents should not tell their kids while the other one's not present, because the other one cannot defend themselves. And it's just wrong to put your kids in that position because one parent is doing things that they're not, that the other parents think they're not supposed to be doing. But there is a stipulation where, in my mind, where in certain cases, the parents should tell the kids what's going on with the other one, and that would be in the event where the father or the mother does not want to have anything to do with the child, or is abusive, or a drug addict. Because I'm not gonna say drinking, because drinking comes and goes. My dad actually had changed by that time, but like not doing this or not doing this or doing this that because this other one person doesn't like it. You just need to let the kids decide on their own. Like my brother took my dad's side, and yeah, he ended up getting in trouble a lot with the authorities and all that. My sister took my mother's side and ended up having relationship issues, in my opinion. I mean, we all did, but she has a son, and the father is a deadbeat, in my opinion. He just doesn't want anything to do with him. But she's been in rough relationships as well. And then you got me. I stayed neutral. I ended up having a point where I decided after 2001, on September 11th, that I would join the military. And my dad supported the choice. I was unsure. My mom was unsure. But in the end, they both supported it. And I went to basic training after my junior year of high school. This was known as the Split Up Program. I came back for my senior year to finish off my school and graduate. Then I went to my advanced training. There was no issues between the family or anything. Everyone was quiet and calm, trying to be good. As good as they usually are. Then I came back just to go on a deployment. But it was not a for sure thing when I got back. I found out while I was at my advanced training that my unit was getting ready to mobilize. I come back. I contacted one of my NCOs. They told me to take some time for my family, which I did. Then I came in, and I worked. It took me a couple of days just to get through the whole process. That it took them weeks to get through. Well, I shouldn't say weeks. Maybe a week or two to get through. I called up and I got told, "You're going." One of the other soldiers, that was a female, was pregnant. So I went on that deployment. To say, yes, my first year of high school may have been a pain, but, you know, that's just how things are. And to be honest, I wouldn't trade it for anything. Then I came back from that deployment and ended up moving in with my brother. And this was a huge mistake, in my opinion, because I ended up getting back together with one of my ex-girlfriends. I'll explain to that later. And they were always smoking pot or weed. I mean, yes, now it's become more legal, but back then it was not. And there was a lot of anger issues. The girl I was dating, we kept dating and dating, and then we decided to get married. And we got married, and that's when things started changing. She was trying to just stay at home and live off of my income. I got her to get a job as a CNA, but it didn't help. She stayed into pot and started getting verbally abusive. One time she actually smacked both my ears at the same time, which is a form of physical abuse. I just played it off, which I shouldn't have. Then one year I went to my training for my unit. She started accusing me of cheating on her and would keep calling me up to midnight, just berating me. So I'd shut off my phone. I came home and said it was enough. I'm done. I don't want to be in that kind of relationship. So I packed up all my stuff and moved out. My sister actually came and picked me up because none of the vehicles were in my name. And I stayed with my sister for a little while until I met my current wife. And she wasn't really wanting a relationship in the beginning, which does happen. But do not force it in those instances. And from this day, I seem like people keep saying I fell in love with her kids before I fell in love with her, because she had kids from a previous marriage, which I was okay with. You should not make judgment on people because they have kids. I will go into why she left her ex at a different time, because that's a long story. But her kids fell in love with me, and she decided, why not date? And we ended up moving in together, and then lo and behold, her oldest daughter said she would like to marry a guy like me when she grew up. Which got my wife to thinking, why not? If a guy like him is okay for her, why not okay for me? And my proposal was kind of funny. I grabbed her hand and she thought I wanted a kiss, so she gave me a kiss. And I held on to her hand. She turned around and was like, she snapped at me, like, "What do you want?" And I got down and proposed. Yeah, so she said, so it was like I was glutton for punishment. But ever since then, we've been married for going on 9 years, and we've had our ups and downs, but we've been together for the whole time. And I would not trade it for the world. And we just had recently had a third kid. It's not going to change the relationship between me and the other two. And I say other two because I've raised them since they're about 2 and 3. So they are mine. You can say that they're your stepkids all you want, but to me, they are my kids. And until next time, this is Sergeant Stepdad. Have a good day.